All right, now I want to talk about facial expressions. So we know gestures is important, but also facial expression is incredibly important because it can, again, have the audience believing the verbal or the nonverbal. The best way to practice facial expression and appropriate facial expression is practice in front of someone, practice in front of a mirror. It took me a long time. I remember for years, I felt like I was going down the hallway and smiling at everyone, but I'd do this. And then one day I went in the mirror and I did my hallway smile, I called it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is totally condescending. As I walked down the hall, I thought everybody was like, oh, she's so friendly. I was just basically like, screw you, screw you, screw you, screw you. Okay? You won't know what you're doing until you stand in front of a mirror or until you record yourself and see what your face is doing. Because we have to make sure, if it's happy, that has to be reflected in our face. If it's sad, it's okay, lower the brow, drop the smile. And oftentimes when anxiety hits in speakers, the opposite happens. And I have students stand up there, I was so scared, I just didn't even know what to do. I was in the haunted house and the murderer was chasing me, and I was freaked out. Oh goodness, right? Were you? Because it looks like you were having the time of your life, okay? We want to make sure facial expression aligns with our verbal message. All right. Let's see. Proxemics, gestures, facial expression. Oh, I want to talk briefly too, back to gestures. It's a little bit of a subcategory called kinesics, which means body movement. Oops, body movement. So this is much more than just a hand gesture or a facial expression. It's the person as a whole. Now, you will have some movement, and that's okay. As you saw me today, I've moved around and I've gestured around. If you are a person that has a hard time staying in one spot, you can do what's called motivated movement. And that is when you change topics, you simply indicate to where you're moving, take a few steps, and then stop. It's a nonverbal way to tell the audience, I'm switching gears, I'm going to go to something different. So if I would indicate move over here, I'd say, so that today explains verbal and nonverbal. It's just a way to indicate to the audience we're changing. But things we want to be aware of with kinesics or body movement is the repetition. It's okay to shift your weight, but when we're constantly shifting our weight, right, we're not posing for the JCPenney catalog here, okay? Also the pacing, this is and this is hard because some people pace when they think, but you see the impact it's making. It's higher and higher. Like, why are you moving so much? Why are you pacing? It's almost like a shark circling the boat, right? So you want to manage your body movement. If you go side to side, this is what I refer to as swaying. It's okay to shift your weight once or twice, but when it becomes this repetition, this front to back is rocking. Okay? My most favorite pose is this one with the legs crossed. And this is almost a universal sign for what? I have to use the bathroom, absolutely. So we want to make sure that we stand feet about hip width apart so we have a nice balance. If you stand too close, you're naturally going to have that tendency to have to pop one leg out because you're going to feel, ooh, especially when you're anxious. Nice soft knees. If we walk up, we are going to feel more prone to faint. So feet hip width apart, nice knees, hands, one arm in to anchor those cards, and the other one can freely gesture. And you will find that by having this pose, you won't need to have the extra move because you're standing comfortably, I can gesture, I can have eye contact, and I don't need to pace.